Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper Podcast. In today's episode, we are going to look at how to make business networking work and how to make it fun and enjoyable. If you've ever tried business networking and it hasn't worked for you, I'd suggest it's because no one has shown you how to make it work, the strategies and the detail. Okay, so if you've got limiting beliefs like I'm not good at business networking, or I'm too introverted, or I'm not good at it because it's sales and marketing and I'm not good at that, or I'm not comfortable with that, then I'm here to help you smash through those limiting beliefs that are not serving you. Because as with everything that I have built in the Strategic Bookkeeper, I have built it just for bookkeeping, just for bookkeepers, just for you, not for anyone else. So I know that you can do this when you employ my strategies and my processes because it's been built for you. Let's go. I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer and coach. After 13 years in practice and after scaling into a lifestyle business where I could choose my own adventure, I'm sharing my secrets to success, my secret sauce recipe on how to build a thriving practice, delight your clients and ultimately live your dream on your terms. This podcast is a companion to my book. In each weekly episode, I'll share strategies for scaling and success. This is your time to shine, to step up, to become a strategic bookkeeper and enjoy all the benefits it brings to you and your clients. Business networking. Let's dive in. Okay, so business networking can absolutely work. It does work. Okay, I have proven it. I've done it myself and it can be really enjoyable. It can be lots of personal growth. Okay, and today my aim is to help you with these strategies to do exactly that. Okay, and my book, which I'll drop a link to in the show notes, you may have it already, you may not, will give you more information on that. Okay, and also my program, the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program. In that that turbocharges that help. So because business networking can be very powerful, we go into that in more depth in the program. We educate you, then we give you done for you assets around menu and other strategies that are really important to take with you to business networking. And then we help you implement everything, and then we continually support you to make it all work, okay? Because as I like to say, the world never stops spinning, yeah? So your strategies cannot be static. They need to be continually evolving, which is why I'm really passionate about the program. Because as the economic and tech landscape changes, we are there to change with you in the program. So passionate, could go on about it forever. But there'll be links in the show notes, and you also have my email. You can reach out with any other questions. Most bookkeepers that I meet don't enjoy networking, okay, and they struggle to make it work. By the end of this podcast, I want you to be educated around what makes it work, and I want you to be able to implement what you learn, okay? Because if you do join a formal networking group, or maybe you've already joined one, I want to make sure that actually first and foremost you enjoy it, and then you also make it work for you. You generate revenue and profit and delighted clients and eventually the privilege to live your dream on your terms. That's what it's all about. So if you've tried networking and it hasn't worked for you or you haven't enjoyed it, why? Now, you will already have decided why, but I want you to think about that right now, okay? So, was it because you think you are not built for networking? Or because you are not an extrovert? Do you think that networking works way better for extroverts? Maybe you thought the pressure of the structure was too much. Or maybe you just blame the fact that people simply didn't refer to you. Yeah? But then why does networking work for some bookkeepers and not others? Okay, and I'd like to sum that up, to make this simple, in 3 words for today. For today's education and implementation, and that is clarity, consistency, and strategy. Okay, and we are going to look at those now. But before we do, I want to circle back to the extrovert one. So business networking does not work better for extroverts than introverts. I would say it may sometimes appear that it does in the short term, because extroverts are generally better at the hustle, at getting out there and hustling and tap dancing and getting some runs on the board. But that is not the key to success for the long term. It's not the key to a profitable practice, and it's not the key to profit generally. It's often the key to some quick sales and some quick revenue. All right. But whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, that doesn't change. What makes business networking work are the strategies. All right. Clarity, consistency, and strategy. So in fact, the grandfather of business networking, Ivan Meisner, founder of BNI, is an introvert. And I have met him in the States. He's amazing, and I certainly learnt a lot from him myself. So let's just get rid of that myth right now. If you have a pen and paper handy, that would be great. If you don't, you might choose to listen to this podcast now and then listen again later with a pen and paper to take note of the strategies, which is absolutely worthwhile, because you can build your bookkeeping practice and find networking fun and rewarding. I built my bookkeeping practice in the early days using business networking. In 1 year, I generated over $100,000 in revenue from business networking alone. Okay, so it can and it will work for you. But first, we really need to reset your thinking and give you the strategies around how it's going to work. Clarity, consistency, and strategy. So let's start on clarity, even though the 3 kind of mix in together. So in terms of clarity, I'm going to tell you what doesn't work first. So if you are a really great skilled bookkeeper, so you're super skilled and you know exactly what you're doing, and you're one of the top 20% bookkeepers, that is great. But if you go along to a networking event with just that, we'll call her Rebecca. I'm Rebecca and I'm a great bookkeeper, and I'm going to turn up, and if somebody needs a bookkeeper, I'm in the networking group. They'll ask me what I do, and I'll say, I do bookkeeping and I do it really well, and then that will all work for me. That is what doesn't work, because it lacks the clarity and the strategy. You might be able to get the consistency piece where you turn up every week on time, looking professional, looking awake, not tired, you're playing the long game, all of those kind of things. You might be prepared for consistency, but I would suggest that you're lacking clarity and strategy, because when you turn up to that networking event, the clarity you need is around who you serve and what problem you solve, okay? And that clarity comes from nailing your brand and developing your menu, and they are 2 chapters of my book. So you can just read those chapters, and those chapters even have playbooks to allow you to actually develop your brand and develop your menu. And as I mentioned earlier, that's also all done for you in the program, if that's what you'd rather have done for you. So when attending your networking group, showing up with a clear brand and the ability to talk to your business buddies about the benefits of what you do rather than the features is what's going to make all the difference. Being great at what you do, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, being great at what you do is different to the skills and experience required to run a successful business. You need sales and marketing acumen, in order to run a successful bookkeeping practice. Okay. But the great news is you don't need to become a salesperson. I have given you exactly what you need in terms of sales and marketing for bookkeeping. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. You are really a solver, not a seller. But in terms of sales and marketing, you need to be able to convey your unique selling proposition and your selling points and the benefits of what you do in order to be competitive, okay, and stand out, and to help business owners self-assess their need to work with you and choose you over your competitors without price as a priority. And your brand and your menu is the first steps to doing that. All right. So you need to nail those and be taking them into the networking group with you. That is the clarity piece, and it's moving into the strategy piece. Okay. In terms of strategy, let's first talk collateral. So you don't want to go into a networking event without collateral, okay? And by collateral, I mean the idea of brochures and things like that. But I don't advocate for going out and creating 6-page glossy brochures. You can do that, but these days people's attention spans are short, okay? So the first piece of collateral that you need to create is your menu, because it is nice and simple. It's really, you've got a 1-page solution on there, which is very graphical, and then it just incorporates your vision and your mission, all right? So it's your why, your how, and then your menu kind of illustrates your what, but it's translated into a language that business owners understand and that helps them to self-assess their need to use you, once again, without price as first priority, and to choose you over your competitors. So that really nice, simple piece of collateral is the best place to start. If it's the only thing that you ever had in terms of collateral, it would still probably have the biggest impact, okay? So in terms of collateral, you absolutely want to have that with you. Not only to show people, so I wouldn't be just giving my menu to someone, right? This is like a translator, okay? So one of the parts of strategy is language. So if we talked collateral, now let's talk language. So when you have your menu with you, you're actually able to, let's say you've got it and it's laminated, or you've had it put on some nice stock. You're obviously going to have it digitally available as well, but at a networking event, it's great to have it in hard copy. So then you're able to actually sit down with people one-on-one, or even in a group setting. You're able to look at that menu yourself, and rather than rely on hustle and habit, because good habits are hard to form, and if you're a bookkeeper that's used to talking about what, like all of us are, forming the habit of talking about why can be near on impossible. So your menu is actually going to remind you to do it, which is so exciting. So then when you talk about what you do, this will translate it into why. Okay. And the language is so important, because as I've said in other podcasts, people won't buy what you do. They will buy why you do it. And if you talk about what, they're going to think price, cost. When you talk about why, they're going to think outcome, benefit. Yay, I'm not price focused anymore. In terms of strategy, that was your collateral and your language. The third part, which is so important, is that when you go to a networking event, and I do advocate for joining regular networking events, the two that I kind of am familiar with as BNI and BX. A lot of bookkeepers are mums. BX tends to cater to mums with more times of the day to have their meetings, but they're both amazing, okay? So the third one is that when you go to the networking event, you're not going to find one client at a time. You may do, and that's great, but your primary focus should be to find a partner, okay, that has your database. So for example, you are going to meet business buddies, like say a social media business, a digital marketing business, an accountant. Yeah. So, and they are going to have all the clients that could use your services. So you go to a business event to meet a partner. Now, in terms of how to make partnerships work, there is absolutely a deep strategy there, yeah? And I'm not going to go into that now because I've already gone into it, and I'll point you to those resources. So, number one, the book. So when you get to the attraction chapter, in there I'll talk about evergreen advocacy partnerships, and then you'll have a checklist in the playbook that's in there. And there is also, so the first podcast episode 1, we'll talk a little about that as well, but the book really is where it's at. And the program, of course, turbocharges that. So they are your main strategies. So we've talked clarity, we've talked strategy, let's talk consistency. So the first part of consistency is just turning up every week or every fortnight and committing to the long game. Okay, so I've said it before and I'll say it again. Success is found in the long game, not in the short game. If you're going to join a structured business networking group, please see it as laps around the sun. So your first year will be where you get your foot in the market, yeah? And then year on year, it will just get easier. Okay. So consistency, first thing, turn up. Second thing around consistency is manners and etiquette and professionalism. All right. So we are going to turn up looking professional. That doesn't mean you have to have a suit on. Whatever you want to be in terms of on brand for you, work that out and just make sure you turn up looking neat and tidy. Yeah, and make sure that you turn up on time or early, and make sure that you have got manners and etiquette, and make sure that you are professional. Okay, I've always kind of liked to say that when I go to work, when I go to my business, and whenever I have worked in all of my career, there's 2 Jeannies. So there's one that turns up at work because that Jeannie is professional. Yeah. And that's actually, for me, that's about respect. It's about respecting my clients because, with my clients, I have a professional relationship. There's an exchange of money. Yeah. And I need to respect that with professionalism. Okay. So that's a really important subject to understand and to really work on your professionalism. We don't treat our clients and our business buddies like friends at the local restaurant that we're having lunch with. So then there's the personal Jeannie, yeah, that loves to Latin dance and goes to restaurants with her friends. And even though I'm the same person, I don't have to be professional in my personal life. I can be silly and ridiculous. I can even say things that are really challenging to my friends. So I think it's just something I see bookkeepers struggle with. I see them let that professional edge slip away in their client relationships, and they think it's okay, but I can tell you I've spoken to those business owners and they say, you know what, I really didn't like that my bookkeeper did X, Y, Z, even though they told their bookkeeper it was okay. I can tell you right now that err on the side of caution and be professional, really professional, yeah? Which is really, really easy when you learn just to put that business owner hat on. Don't put the casual Jeannie hat on if I'm using my name, or let's say your name is Rebecca. Don't put the casual friendship hat on. Put the professional work hat on. Okay, so that's a part of consistency, yeah? Manners and etiquette, and play the long game. So it's about turning up, listening, seeking to understand others before seeking to be understood, which is about introducing yourself, shaking someone's hand, looking them in the eye, seeking to understand, listening. All of these things that are actually quite easy will help you win the game of business networking and win hearts and minds. I'll jump back a moment to the strategy and the collateral piece. So something I neglected to mention. So along with your menu is absolutely the number one, as I said, but having your welcome lines ready, which I walk you through developing in the book. And I've also done a podcast called Product Ladder. So listen to that podcast to make more sense of it. Okay. So I don't really need to go into that now, but having 1 or 2 or 3 key welcome lines developed to take with you is going to be really, powerful as well. So what I would suggest is if right now you have nothing, yeah, so if we were talking about taking action right now, if you think, oh my goodness, I went to networking events just as me and I said, hey, I'm a bookkeeper and I do bookkeeping. This has been really great. I can understand maybe what's going to help me. In terms of taking action, absolutely nail your brand and develop your menu. But don't wait until you've developed your entire product ladder. In the podcast, I talk about making sure you've got your file health check. Just have that one ready. And you can have that ready in an hour or less if you focus on progress over perfection, prolific, not perfect. Okay. So, you know how to do a file health check. You're a bookkeeper. It doesn't have to be perfect or totally structured. You're going to do your laps around the sun. You are going to refine year on year. You're going to get better every single month. So just work on nailing your perfect version one of your brand. But again, progress over perfection. Same with the menu, progress over perfection. Just get whatever you can get out as fast as you can. Get to that networking event and practice it. Practice the heck out of it at the networking event. There is nothing like refining in the market rather than back at the office behind your computer and your keyboard where everything feels safe, right? Now, if you would rather all of that done for you, we serve you up a done-for-you brand and a done-for-you menu and done-for-you product ladder and lots more in the program. And I would love nothing more than for you to become a strategic bookkeeper by joining my program. Details will be in the show notes of this podcast. To finish up, I guess I would also just reiterate that business networking can and does work. I've proven it. It's the strategies, it's the consistency, it is the clarity, okay? I have met lifelong friends, lifelong business buddies, and lifelong clients through business networking. So it's worked for me, it can work for you. I have built this system for you as a bookkeeper, not for anyone else, yeah? Because I see too much stuff out there that's built for business owners generally and accountants, like advisory built for accountants. And I wanted to build something just for you as a bookkeeper and go deep into bookkeeper psychology, which is what I have done. So this is built for you. So if you think I can't do this, that is not true. I want to help you smash through that limiting belief because I've built this for you and I continue to refine it just for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a question you'd like answered on my podcast, please email me hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Did you know we have a private Facebook group called the Strategic Bookkeepers Way? There you'll find bookkeepers just like you on the same journey where you can ask questions and get support. You can find more resources and how to work with me at thestrategicbookkeeper.global. All the links are in the show notes. Have a prosperous week and I'll see you in the next episode.